No one knows what curves life will throw at you. But if a driver has the courage to create his own conditions, then the rain is simply rain. But for now, all I want is one more lap. Faster, Denny. Faster.
So good to be here.
Thanks,
I'm
man.
super excited. I just talked to Enzo, which was
Parker.
Did he say something?
Well, I like to call him.
Listen,
For the sake of a video package.
So I'm Danny and you're Eve.
Right.
Who do you want me to be?
You look great, by the way.
Thank you.
Well, I asked him, and I asked him this question, so now I have to ask you. Who was the handsomest boy on set, Enzo or Milo Ventimiglia?
Oh, Parker.
What are you talking about?
Enzo.
Don't do that to me.
Parker and Enzo. Let's just say it.
Sure.
We can separate them. Like, I'm a man. He's a good boy.
He's a good boy. You're also a good boy.
Totally.
Is it a draw? Milo and Parker are the handsomest boys on set.
Yeah, sure. Maybe a tie. Maybe he edged out on me.
He said it was him too. I thought that was really cocky.
He did?
Yeah.
Confident. He's a very confident dog.
He's confident.
We raised him well.
Yeah.
Is there an Enzo in your life, particularly that you were able to draw inspiration from?
No, my wife has a Chihuahua who's quite different from Enzo, but for me it's a film about family. And it's, I think, the reason the book has resonated with so many millions of people around the world, and I hope the film will, is that it's a timely reminder to cherish your loved ones, whether it be family or friends or indeed pets.
Has it changed the way that you look at pets in general? You think, oh man, they're more aware than
I've always known that.
Yeah.
That was deep inside me.
I think it kind of just like reaffirmed it.
Yeah.
You know, these beautiful sources of love and innocence
like,
and no ego, and they're just instinctual. So they're gonna pick up on everything that we as people are putting out into the world. So if you're anxious, you're stressed, or you're angry, it's like they're gonna pick up on that. But if you're kind and giving and the best version of ourselves, then I think they're gonna receive that in the best way.
And they're intuitive enough to know who the handsomest boy is. So
Parker.
Surprising.
They know it's Parker. The handsomest boy.
Eve hasn't really given me a straight answer.
I'm
She
not
thinks
gonna
it's
say anything.
a
I
toss
can't.
up.
Totally.
Yeah, it's a toss. It
Thanks.
depends on the day.
Thanks.
I mean, if you think about it, that we all have these pets live in our houses, and goodness knows what they observe going on. And, it was fun in this film because, there were births and marriages and deaths, as there have been in thousands of films. But in this case, we always, shot it from the dog's point of view.
Was it validating to you to hear everyone in the theater sobbing around you? You're like, it worked. We did it.
I've been in a few of the screenings before, and I know that it was an emotional film. It impacted people. Like, one of my very close friends was crying unconsolably the first time he saw it, like sweating through his shirt. He was crying so hard, but he was like, "It's so beautiful. I feel so good coming out the other end." And he had this moment. I mean, and he's a father, and he has 2 daughters, and I know that was what was impacting him the most, was this relationship between a father and his daughters, and thinking of his wife and this family unit. But to be at the premiere and just kind of glance around and look around. And
I kept looking. I actually, one of my favorite moments was when I looked over at Gary Cole, and he was going like this.
Yeah.
And I was like, he's nodding and like smiling, because it was something that Enzo had said. Obviously, like, such hilarious moments in this movie that I was so surprised by how much I laughed too.
Yeah.
And just seeing Gary Cole just being like,
I saw my boss on This Is Us, Stan Fogelman. I saw him like wipe 2 tears. I'm
Yes.
like, he's the king of cry, and I got him to cry. We got him to cry. That was a very satisfying moment.
It's the cry that doesn't hurt you. It's the cry that opens you up. That's that's what this movie will bring.
My prime reaction that night was the joy of hearing all that laughter, actually. And that's the reminder of how wonderful it is to be in a packed cinema with people enjoying a film. And the film, is entertaining, it's funny at times. Yes, it is emotional, but I hope everyone seemed to leave uplifted by the surprising ending.
Not really much of a dog person.
He's more person than dog.
Denny was clearly taken with her grooming. She probably bathed every day for all I knew.
Does he always stare at people like this?
If he likes them.
I feel like this film in particular isn't quite something that you've done before. You don't see much of it at all, really. The whole thing is driven by voiceover from a dog. What was that undertaking like, and what were the challenges that you faced?
Well, a lot of the films I've previously done have been based on real people and real stories, so it was sort of liberating to do a fictional story. And the voiceover and always having the dog to cut to was a great help to us, actually.
It sounds like storytelling-wise, that's an element that could have been beneficial, but what were the challenges you faced with working with the dog as your protagonist?
Well, I mean, good question, but, you know, and you look at, we're doing 3 scenes today, and you think, my goodness, these scenes will only work if the dog in each scene does X, Y, and Z. And so that was challenging, but fortunately the dogs are very well prepared and very well trained, and almost always delivered on an early take.
Call it fate, call it luck. All I knew was I was meant to be his dog.
Go, 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 go. There.